All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is the brother Hamayan from the Richmond camp here in Virginia. Wanted to present another lesson. But first and foremost, I want to acknowledge my power and give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakatadah. Next, double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of Great Millstone, who teach 100% truth according to the Bible. Peace, blessings, and safety to the hopeful elect, to the Arkim, who continue to push this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. I want to say Shalom. Want to also acknowledge my elders here in the Richmond camp, the elder Kara and the elder Metathiah and the brother Ara, for continuing to push this truth and to continue to teach me the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of this truth. I want to say Shalom. So I have a lesson today. Wanted to bring out. The lesson is titled, Trust in the Lord, Not Your Own Understanding. So I just want to go into some scriptures that would highlight that and or support that. And so I'm going to start here in the book of Romans chapter 8 and verse 28. It's the book of Romans chapter 8 and verse 28 in the KJV. And it says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahweh, our power, to them who are the called according to his purpose. It's the book of Romans chapter 8 and 28 in the NLT. It says, and we know that our power causes everything to work together for the good of those who love Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai and are called according to his purpose for them. And that's why we are to trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, because we know all things work together for those who love them, which would be the prophets, be the prophets of the Lord, the mouthpiece of the Lord, and not leaning into our understanding as things around us, get worse as the perilous times and the stressful times come about, and Jacob's trouble and things are lining up to cause great worry and not putting full confidence in our power. It says here in verse 28 that Yahweh causes everything to work together for the good of those who love him. So again, who are those? Who would that be? The prophets, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who put their trust in and invest their time into Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. I want to also look at the book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 8. So the book of Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 8 says, Yahweh Shai in the KJV says Yahweh Shai, the same yesterday and today and forever. Also Hebrews chapter 13 verse 8 in the NLT says Yahweh Shai Mashiach is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And that's right, he is the same because he is the Alpha and the Omega. He never changes, And so he is that same power that we serve. He is that same power that we look to when it comes for assistance, for help. We cry unto him when we're under distress. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And so, we are trusting, in his abilities, not not leaning to our understanding, not our abilities, but Yahweh Shem Shai, we are trusting in his knowledge, not our knowledge, And so for you so-called Negroes, Native Americans, and Latinos, we are to trust into our power, and lean not into our understanding. Also want to look at the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 25 through 27. So like it. Book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 25 through 27. "25 says in the KJV of Matthew 6, red letter Lord Yahushua speaking, it says, "Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life put on? Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment?" Verse 26 says, "Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, neither gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are you not much better than they?" Verse 27 says, "Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit unto his stature?" This would be verse 25 in the NLT. "That is why I tell you not to worry about everyday life, whether you have enough food and drink or enough clothes to wear. Isn't life more than food, and your body more than clothing?" Verse 26 in the NLT says, "Look at the birds. They don't plant or harvest, store food in barns, for your heavenly Father feeds them. And aren't you far more valuable to him than they are?" Verse 27 of Matthew 6 in the NLT says, "Can all your worries add a single moment to your life?" And that's right. We're supposed to have total trust and reliance on Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and that he will bring us the essentials that we need. He will bring us the food that we need. He will bring us the clothes. But our life, our life is far more valuable than those things, And so by us submitting unto Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, by us making investments into his law, statute, and commandments, that's the thing that will prolong our lives. That's the thing that he values, And so as he mentions in these scriptures here in the book of Matthew. I want to also turn to the book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 40. This is the book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 40 in the KJV says, "And he said unto them, Why are ye so fearful? How is," it's like I start again, book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 40. And it says, "And he said unto them, Why are ye so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith?" The book of Mark, chapter 4 in the NLT says, "Then he asked of them, Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" And again, with those, with what he's saying is, you're leaning into your own understanding. You're being fearful. You're not putting your dependence and you're not putting your trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And so he's questioning that, And so, we're not to be afraid nor fear the upcoming calamities that are about to take place, example, the Civil War, the martial law, Jacob's trouble, the mark of the beast. All those things are scheduled to hit here real soon. So we must rely on Yahweh Ba'ashim Hawashai. We must cry unto him daily, so that we can, stand strong within him. He's that covering, that we can stay under him for that confidence, to be able to withstand what's about to take place. Because ultimately the Lord is the writer, director, and producer of the events taking place throughout the earth. Also wanted to get a meaning for the word trust. And it says assured reliance on the character, ability, strength, or truth of someone or something, one in which confidence is placed, dependence on something, future or contingent. So again, just having that trust and belief in Yahweh Ba'ashim Hawashai, not leaning into our own understanding, because his ways are not our ways, and nor his thoughts are our thoughts. So as we're thinking, negative, he's thinking positive the whole time. He's just saying, submit unto him and bring your troubles unto him. And as believers of Yahweh Ba'ashim Hawashai, as the prophets of the Lord and the saints, we gravitate towards that, because ultimately he's gonna deliver us from all this. So with that, I just want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahawashai Ba'ashim Rakakadash. Shalom.